Guys, should we go to bed now?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay. What? Why are you brushing with two hands? Mildly weird habits. Okay, I don't know if any of these are actually weird. If anything, they're probably just mildly unusual, and I'm sure there are lots of other people who do these things too. Or at least I hope it's not just me. But anyway, toothbrushes. I don't really know why I brush with two hands. I also always end up inevitably destroying them. I think if I were to try and trace it back, when I was small, my mom had this tactic to get us to brush our teeth and get ready for bed. She'd basically be like, okay guys, it's going to be a competition. Whoever finishes brushing their teeth and going to bed first wins. And being a competitive child, I was a little bit too intense with it. So, mini tangent, I don't think I'm super strong, but when I'm tensed up, I can't really control my own strength properly. There was this one time I was working at a well-known coffee chain, and we had a huge rush of people, so I was in the zone. This one guy ordered an Americano, super easy to make. I was in my flow state and made the drink really fast and was about to put the lid on to send it off. But I don't know what happened next. With the intensity buildup, I ended up vertically crushing his Americano, like straight from the lid to like all the way down. And I know he was watching. I slowly turned over and we made silent eye contact as he stared at me with the surprised Pikachu face, and I just solemnly stared back with his completely obliterated drink dripping from my hands. After the longest moment of silence, I just went, haha, sorry about that. I'm just gonna make you a new drink. Anyway, all this to say, I brush my teeth way too hard. Cutlery. Okay, so I think this one is significantly less weird than the brushing one. But does anyone else just use one specific type of utensil when eating? When given the option, I'll usually just choose to use one fork. Even for dishes meant to be eaten with a spoon. Of course, I'll occasionally use spoons for soups where I have to, and also use chopsticks when I feel like it, but I've never really been a person who uses both at the same time. Not to say that I avoid or refuse to use other cutlery, it's just my tool of choice. When a friend who also worked at the same coffee place accidentally gave me a fork instead of a spoon for oatmeal, I was just like, oh okay, cool, fork, that's what I usually eat with. And when they noticed me eating it from across the room, they were just like, why didn't you tell me I gave you a fork? And I was just like, I don't know, I just like using forks. Hairstyles. So I have a lot of habits that involve touching my hair. I fiddle with it when I'm nervous or when I'm bored. Sometimes I'll lightly tug on it if I'm stressed or anxious. But I also have this habit where if it feels like I'm having an off day, or I just feel like the day keeps spiraling downwards, or even if I'm just feeling anxious and like I need to reset myself, I'll change my hairstyle. Something small, like just tying it up or letting it down. I don't know, it just helps me feel like I've reset myself, and it helps pull me back into the moment and regain control. Is this actually about the hairstyle? Probably not. Is it more of a prompt that helps me pull myself to the sidelines and remember to take a moment and take a breath? More likely. But it usually does help a lot. This doesn't mean that every time I reset my hair, I'm having a bad day though. It just, sometimes I tie my hair up, and when you tie your hair up for a long time, it hurts. Or sometimes it gets hot and you just need to tie your hair up because then it, back of your neck feels hot. Being a flavor completionist. This one I feel like a lot of people experience. But do you ever grab a snack that has a bunch of flavors and then get that small voice in the back of your head that's like, I need to try every flavor? Or you look at a menu and you're like, man, I don't even know what any of these mean, but I want to try every single one. The way that they're always laid out just does something to my brain. Of course I tell myself, no, you are a responsible adult. You cannot order every single item on the menu. But I will try to always order something different if I come back to the same place, until I've pretty much ordered everything. This is also why I really love menu samplers. It used to be a lot worse when I was a mini demon child that would try to eat every single color in candy packs. I remember at one point I even had a nightmare about it where I was in this large deserted Costco, and inside the building there was a murderer chasing me. And you know how they have little food sample stations spread throughout the floor? In this stream, instead of food samples, they had those mini kid play sets instead. So while I was running away from this murderer, in my mind I was like, I have to try each and every one of these playground sets. I would be sprinting for dear life, but as soon as I came across a play set, I'd be like, damn though, check out that slide, it has a tunnel. And then continue to frantically run. I cannot describe what complex emotions I was feeling. And I couldn't leave until I tried every single one. It was like a sick and twisted hell in the form of a Costco with too many playsets. Anyway, so this mildly weird trait manifested much more weirdly in my dream. That's all the traits I have for today. This is my first video, so I didn't want to be too out of pocket, but maybe one day I'll make a part 2. If you have any of your own mildly weird habits, please share them with me so I can feel a little bit less alone on this. I don't really have a sign off yet, so... Okay, bye. And inside the building there was a murderer. Chased by a murderer.